Good day and welcome to Agenda. Sitting in for Sito Beltran, I'm Danie Laurel. You're watching One News, all sides, all the time. Now for today's starter quote. One day you will just be a memory for some people. Do your best to be a good one. Meanwhile, it's now time to take a look at the front page of the Philippine Star. Vice President Sara Duterte maintained that foreign policy decisions of President Bongbong Marcos should be followed, saying that, quote, his position should be the position of all. But the VP also said that her office will still reach out to the Justice Department and urge them not to cooperate with the International Criminal Court or the ICC on its investigation of the drug war under the Rodrigo Duterte administration. Recall that after years of delay, the ICC decided earlier this year to resume its inquiry into the Philippines' war on drugs. Now, if you ask Defense Secretary Gibo Teodoro, it makes no sense to hold bilateral talks with China over the West Philippine Sea because it is not fruitful. Teodoro told reporters that formal talks should only be held when it is proven that Beijing is sincere. In other news, the Department of Migrant Workers confirmed that the 2 Filipino seafarers on board the tanker Central Park are safe and accounted for. This as the United States Navy foils the seizure of the Israel-linked tanker off of the coast of Yemen. House Speaker Martin Romualdez said the lower chamber would closely monitor the prices of basic commodities this Christmas season. This is to make sure that traders will stay in line and not unnecessarily jack up the costs of various goods. We will discuss more about the prices of chicken and eggs in a few moments with our guest from the Agriculture Department. And finally, the Merriam-Webster's 2023 word of the year is authentic. This as the world faces an age of misinformation. Merriam-Webster's editor-at-large Peter Sokolowski told the Associated Press that lookups for the word authentic boosted to new heights this year. Now stay tuned as we discuss today's agenda after the break. Keep it here on One News, all sides, all the time.
poultry raisers from the United Broiler Raisers Association or UBRA have slammed the Agriculture Department amid the continued rise in prices of commodities including chicken. In an earlier interview here on Agenda, UBRA Chairman Gregorio Santiago pointed out the DA's assurance last November 4 that agricultural product prices would not increase before Christmas. This, however, is not the case as consumers saw a continuous rise in prices of rice, onions, and eggs. Santiago therefore suggested a disconnect between the government statements and the reality faced by the people. Meanwhile, in order to address the high demand for eggs in the market, AGAP Party List Representative Nicanor Briones proposed that eggs be sold per kilo instead of per piece. The lawmaker claims that retailers manipulate the actual sizes to earn more profits, and selling them by weight instead of by piece may help consumers buy eggs at more accurate prices. Let's discuss these further on today's agenda.
Engineer Arnel De Mesa currently serves as the spokesperson of the Agriculture Department. Along with this, De Mesa is also the Assistant Secretary for Operations of the DA.
Good morning, Asec, Arnel De Mesa, and welcome to Agenda.
Good morning, Danie. Good morning to all your viewers.
All right, Asec, let's kick off with your reaction. Of course, you're in the DA, not necessarily the DTI, which is looking at the SRPs, but just your general reaction as part of the Department of Agriculture. Is there any truth to the statement of UBRA Chairman San Diego saying that the prices, you mentioned that the DA said that they're supposed to be at least the same before Christmas, but we are seeing price spikes. Can you give your reaction to this?
Yes, Danny. What we're seeing is a little increases over the prices. This is expected because during holiday season, we are seeing increased demand coming from our HRIs. These are the hotels, restaurants, and industrial users. Of course, yung ating mga household users ay dumadami rin ang paggamit because of additional incomes na pumapasok, especially after November 15. Nagbigay ng mid-year, what do you call this, yung ating 13th-month pay sa mga government employees. So during this time, mas malaki ang capacity ng ating mga mamamayan na gumastos. So yun, that's one of the reason na nagkakaroon ng increases. But in terms of supply, kasi ang Agriculture Department, we are more on the assurance ng productivity as well as yung supply ng ating mga key agricultural commodities like rice, pork products, chicken, and eggs, and vegetables. That's what we are assuring, yung stability ng supply sa market. Alam naman natin yung presyo, of course, antabayan kung gaano karami ang supply. Kagaya last year, if you can recall, nagkaroon tayo ng problema sa presyohan ng sibuyas simply because limited yung supply sa market. But for this year, very stable yung prices. Kung nagkakaroon man ng mga increase, hindi ito ganun lumalaki. Halimbawa sa manok, for the past how many days, very stable yung presyo at 190. We are seeing yung presyo umaakit ng 210. Ito yung high marks. But what is more important, to us yung prevailing market prices, what we are monitoring in 13 major markets dito sa Metro Manila. The lowest was for whole chicken is 150. We are monitoring also 210 pesos as I mentioned, but most of these markets all over Metro Manila, ang tinda nila is about 190 pesos, which is the prevailing prices.
Okay, Asik, let's go through this one by one. Give us an idea of the Christmas season this year, 2023, supply versus demand. Is the demand softening because of inflation the entire year? Less people are buying for Noche Buena, or ganun pa din? And in terms of supply, have you already anticipated this uptick in demand, or are you expecting lower demand this year?
Normally, during this time of the year, talagang malaki yung demand natin for key agricultural commodities, either as a key ingredient, halimbawa sa hamon, yung ating pork, yung ating mga itlog, which are being used for leche flan, cakes, and breads. So talagang lumalaki ang demand. Yung egg natin, there are two major instances every year na malaki ang demand. Pagpasukan, baon at saka almusal yan
Okay.
ang ating mga kabataan. And ito nga, pag holiday season, talagang lumalaki ang demand. So these are expected occurrences every year na malaki talaga ang demand. So yung bigas natin, malaki yung ating production this year. Yung ating pork, bagamat kulang yung production natin, we're expecting about 320,000 metric tons production. Yung import or program, o yung importations natin were program ahead months before dumating itong fourth quarter, yung mas malaki ang demand. Yung chicken natin ay we have production over local production na malaki, so wala tayong problema. Ganun din naman sa egg.
Okay.
So in terms of productivity, inaasahan natin na mayroong mga increases sa presyo pero hindi ganun kalaki naman because of the
Okay.
stability of supply.
So demand, speaking just of demand, no, walang kaibahan this year. People are still spending the same amounts to create their leche flan. It's hindi tighter yung budgets ng mga tao.
Uh, Almost similar yung ano natin. Ang nagkaroon lang ng kaibahan during the pandemic years. Talagang bumaba yung demand. But after
Okay.
that, ngayon ay this year we're expecting yung pre-pandemic levels ay yung demand ay lumalaki na talaga.
Okay, now let's talk about the prices. No, you said that slight uptick lang ito. There was 13-month pay, ganyan. But leading to the holiday season, is there going to be progressive uptick still? And until when are you expecting this? Or meron bang chance na bumaba pa yung presyo right before the holidays?
Yung sinasabi ni Ginoong San Diego, normally kasi yung farm gate prices ng manok hindi yun masyadong tumataas. Pero ngayong panahon, reportedly meron na mga increases ng farm gate prices from 80 to 90. We're seeing up to 110. So after ng farm gate price, normally you add up 50%. So yun dapat yung presyo sa retail. So yung, sorry, yung 110 times 50%, that's about 180, which is reasonable nung prevailing prices natin na 190 pesos. So, pag nagkakaroon ng additional income yung ating mga kababayan, so nagkakaroon ng additional capacity sila to buy, at yun ang nagkakos ng additional demand.
Sir, wala namang manipulation na nangyayari because you even have the speaker going around with also, Tulfo going around, looking at the markets, making surprise visits just to see whether may manipulation ba sa SRP or hindi sinusundan? Or are you just seeing, just sabi mo, normal price spikes based on demand, based on the amount of goods needed for this season?
Now, if there will be price manipulation, so may mga ready naman tayo ng instruments ang gobyerno natin to check on this, especially doon din sa hoarding, sa smuggling. So tuloy-tuloy itong ginagawa ng ating department in coordination with Bureau of Customs and other government agencies para masawa tayo mga ganitong problema.
Does it happen more often during the holiday season, itong hoarding or manipulation ng prices, sa tingin ninyo? Yung gap din ng prices from farm gate dun sa retail?
During holiday season talaga, ang in-expect natin is yung pagtaas talaga ng demand ng mga key agricultural commodities, which normally draw up. Kung limited ang supply, yun ang magkakos talaga ng uptick sa presyo. As I mentioned, similar to what happened last year sa onion, na talagang pag ganitong panahon, ay malaki ang demand. That's why the Bureau of Plant Industry Director announced na may parating this week na additional 21,000 metric tons for onions na magkakos ng stability ng presyo pa niya. For onions, we're seeing 140 to 160. Last year yan, umabot yan ng 700,
Correct.
800 pesos per kilo.
Okay, we'll go back to the onion issue. Sir, balikan muna natin yung chicken because you mentioned that there is no shortage of chicken supply, but it seems we are seeing an uptick of prices in chicken. And what can possibly cause this? Hindi naman siya, well, in my idea, hindi naman siya climate change related, typhoon related, diba? Is this avian flu related? Yung feeds ba? Is that still an issue when it comes to the prices ng chicken?
Continuous pa rin yung challenge natin with the avian influenza. Nandiyan na yan. At ang maganda kasi is meron na tayong vaccine against bird flu, yung avian influenza. Though may mga area pa rin na tinamaan, yung huling report sa amin, there are still 2 areas na merong avian influenza na na-record. Ang isa pang possible reason dyan, pag merong delays ng loading after harvest, maglilinis yan, and then tsaka mag-load ng for another period ng mga broilers natin. Normally,
Okay.
35, 31 days, mag-harvest ulit. So, yun yung cycle ng broiler natin. Ang apektado kapag may mga delay, siyempre, of course, yung maliliit, but yung ating mga commercial na malalaki na mga farms, as I talk with Ubra kina Attorney Insyong, ito yung madalas nagiging issue nila, yung mga delays sa loading.
So ano po yung expectations sa prices ng chicken? And are you putting a SRP?
Isa yan sa, again, one of the instruments available sa DA for fresh key agricultural commodities under Price Act. Mandato ng Department of Agriculture to look into this issue, and if possible, at kung kinakailangan talaga, we can issue SRPs.
All right. Okay, we'll continue this discussion. Let's just pause for a quick break. Keep it here on One News. Welcome back. You're still watching Agenda. Sitting in for Cito Beltran, I'm Danie Laurel. Let's continue our discussion with Department of Agriculture spokesperson, Assistant Secretary Arnel De Mesa. Hello, Asec. Let's go back to the issue of the chicken prices. No? And you were mentioning we're still continuing to battle the avian bird flu in some parts of the country. You have also Rep. Briones saying that the DA needs to expedite the process of allowing the use of avian influenza vaccine. What does he mean by this expedite the process? Mabagal ba yung process of the vaccination? Have we not completed our targets?
Danny, for the vaccination, the FDA already issued the permit for one of the companies, Seva. But under the permit, it says there that it will be used for field trial. So when we talk with the Bureau of Animal Industry, it will take about 1 month to finish the field trial for that vaccine.
Okay.
The vaccine that was approved is good for about 15 million shots. So maganda yon.
Okay.
After ng 1 month, then pwede na ulit tayong mag-proceed with the vaccination. And then there are 2 more companies, yung sa Germany at saka sa Indonesia, na malaking tulong. Pag na-aprobahan na rin ito ng FDA, then tuloy-tuloy na yung vaccination natin sa mga feathered animals natin, especially for poultry, yung broiler natin layers, at saka yung sa ating mga ducks.
So, Asek, why does it take 1 month field trial? Hindi pa ba to approved by other agencies abroad at least that the FDA can just approve it right away? Why is there still this 1 month trial sa Pilipinas?
Natapos na to, actually approved na siya lahat. Kaya lang part of the protocols ng FDA at saka ng BAI to undergo this process. We just need to complete all the processes to ensure yung compliance natin with all the protocols.
Okay, and what are you expecting? When will this happen? 15 million shots. What would be the impact of that on the chickens? Will that eliminate the flu? And will that mean that mas resilient na ba yung chickens natin for the flu? How effective is this vaccine?
Just like any other vaccine, whether it's for animals or for humans, hindi naman lahat ng population ay binabakunahan. Ito yung magkaroon tayo ng herd immunity na tinatawag. So the Bureau of Animal Industry has targeted several numbers beginning this year hanggang next year para masigurado na talagang significant number of population will be vaccinated to gain yung herd immunity para sa mga susunod na panahon, karamihan na ng mga manok ay will develop the necessary protection for this virus.
Can you expound on that? Kasi curious talaga ako, no? When we talk about viruses sa humans, then you take a vaccine, then the virus mutates, etc. For avian bird flu, is this a specific vaccine just targeting that? Tapos, will they be immune to other types of bird flus in the future? How often do these birds need to be vaccinated? You say 15 million shots, one time, big time lang ba yan? Or is this an annual thing?
Hindi ako vet med pero meron yang initial shot and then may mga succeeding booster shots din yan. And then yung 15 million just initial at para lang ito sa isang company at may mga susunod pa na mga bakuna na parating.
Okay, let's go back to the issue of the egg prices. No, you also have still AGAP Party List Rep Briones saying that there is manipulation happening in the egg market, particularly during the holiday season. Nagbebenta daw ng eggs, depending on the sizes. And he says we should instead sell eggs per kilo. What do you think of that?
If you look at the definition talaga ng ating mga eggs, there are standards actually per Bureau of Agriculture and Fisheries Standards referring to the correct sizes ng ating mga eggs. And these are based on the grams. So halimbawa for jumbo, ang size na dapat 70 grams and above. For extra large ay 65 to 69 grams. For large is 60 to 64 grams. For medium is 55 to 59. Next is small and then peewee. So ang difference niya lang is 5 grams. If you look at the sizes, gamit yung mata natin, it's very difficult to really distinguish from one size to another. Except siguro yung jumbo to peewee, talaga makita mo yung difference. But between large, medium, and small, sometimes lalo na pag naka-tray yan, it's getting mixed up doon sa tray. So you can see hindi pare-parehas ang weight.
Okay.
That's why we're glad that Kong Nikki Briones has suggested that instead of per piece, it's better to sell it
Per kilo.
on a per kilo per weight basis para talagang ma-assure natin that our consumers will get what they are paying for.
Okay, so you're supporting this notion, sir. Or is there a possibility to have an SRP also for that per kilo?
It's not necessarily a suggested retail price for egg kasi okay naman yung price natin, ang medium natin is 8 pesos per piece. Pero what Kong Nikki Briones is suggesting is that instead of selling the egg per piece is to sell the egg on a per kilo basis or per weight basis just to assure na our consumers will get their money's worth for every kilo of egg na bibili nila.
Pwede nyo bang i-mandate yun, sir? Who is responsible for mandating this na, okay, instead of per egg, ibebenta nyo na per kilo? Is that something that we can do procedurally, legally? to the market
Danny, for
vendors?
all key agricultural commodities without processing, that's the mandate of the Department of Agriculture. Pag ginawa mo niya ng initial processing, that's already the mandate of the Department of Trade in
Okay.
Industry. So for example, yung tamba na isda, pag isda pa lang yan, that's the responsibility of DA. But when it becomes already sardines, nakadelata na yan, that's already part of the mandate of the DTI.
Okay, so it's the DTI that has to decide kung ima-mandate ba nila tong per kilo. But you're supporting
No,
this
it's
idea.
with DA because raw fresh egg.
Okay, it's with DA. All right, let's talk about the onion issue. No, you mentioned that it from 720 medyo bumaba na siya, and you also have the idea that hindi na daw maglalagay ng SRP, or at least no plans to impose an SRP on the onions, despite the fact that there's another spike in the retail prices of the bulbs, 220 pesos per kilo. This is according to an official from the DA. Why is that, sir? How can we ensure that the situation last year does not happen again, or a few months ago actually, regarding the massive spike in onion prices?
Danny, what happened last year was that there were limited supplies of onion. That's why there were spikes up to 700, 800 pesos per kilo of onion. So this year, learning from lessons of previous occasion, so what we're doing is to regularly to look at the supplies coming from our local producers and those being imported. So binabalanse yan. There should be a careful balance of yung local production natin at saka nanggagaling sa import. Kasi we really need to protect our farmers. At the same time, we also need to take a careful look at the welfares of our consumers. Kasi hindi naman pwedeng masyadong mataas ang presyo na talagang nahihirapan na makapamili ang ating mga consumers. So right now, we are seeing prevailing prices of onion at 140 pesos. With the coming in of fresh import of about 21,000 metric tons as reported by the Bureau of Land Industry, we can expect kung hindi man ma-maintain yung presyo at 140 ay bababa siya because of these new imports coming in this week.
Okay. Have you assessed the impact of the recent typhoons on the prices of goods this upcoming season?
What happened in northern Samar as well as other parts of eastern and parts of Bicol and central Visayas, those affected are mostly rice areas, about 7,300 hectares. Yesterday, we reported already 155 million worth of damage, mostly coming from, again, rice areas. So, hindi naman siya ganun kalaki, only about 7,000 hectares. And
Okay.
they're just starting to plant because this time of the year, November, is the start of the planting season for our dry season, which will be harvested come March, April next year. So, our buffer stock for new seeds ay na-distribute na po natin. Ongoing distribution is ready for planting for quick turnaround for those rice farmers affected by this shear line dito po sa Eastern Visayas.
Okay, so hopefully no direct impact on the prices of rice for the time being. What about, sir, the impact of El Nino coming next year?
We already planned for the El Nino. Ang plano namin dito is from strong to severe impact ng ating El Nino. At nakaprogram lahat yung ating mga interventions, especially kasi pag El Nino, ang problema rito yung availability of rainfall. So we plan for water management interventions kagaya ng pagbibigay natin ng mga shallow tube, small-scale irrigation projects, especially for those areas na mga tail end ng ating irrigation facilities ng NIA. Yun ang medyo maapektuhan. And mostly rice kasi ito yung mga nangangailangan ng tubig. Ito yung klase ng halaman na nangangailangan ng tubig.
Okay, sir, but for our consumers here, bababa ba yung presyo ng, well, not just bigas, but vegetables next year?
For vegetables, these are seasonal na mga halaman. Depende yan sa panahon, lalo na yung mga solanaceous crops, yung ating mga tomatoes, eggplant. Pag panahon ng tag-ulan, mas madaling i-produce yan. So mas mura yan. Pag panahon ng tag-ulan, medyo mahirap palakihin kaya medyo mahal. But in terms of pinakbet na vegetables natin, sa ngayon we have enough supplies at maganda ang presyoan. Sa ating upland vegetables, yung ating mga pang-chapsuy, reportedly maganda yung ating supplies dito. So any time of the year, wala tayong problema for upland vegetables.
Alright, maraming salamat po for all of those updates, Department of Agriculture spokesperson, Assistant Secretary Arnel De Mesa. We will take a short break. Keep it here on Agenda.
The Philippines has the highest rate of online shopping scams in Asia. That is based according to the 2023 Asia Scam Report. Our country has registered a 35.9% shopping scam rate, which is the highest among 11 Asian economies surveyed for the study. Based on the report, 24.8% of Filipino shopping scam victims responded too quickly to scammers' demands. 21.1% meanwhile take risks despite uncertainty. The study also showed that SMS or text is the top channel for scammers in the Philippines. Facebook, on the other hand, is the most popular digital platform for these scams. That's why the Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center told the public to be extra cautious when buying things online, especially during this Christmas season. How can we further protect ourselves from online shopping scams these days? Let's discuss this on today's Agenda.
Jocel de Guzman is the co-founder and co-lead convener of ScamWatch Pilipinas. He is also the founder and president of reputation management company Truth 360 Incorporated. De Guzman has previously worked in various private corporations in the country like LBC and Alaska Milk Corporation.
Welcome back to Agenda. I'm Danie Laurel. Now let's further talk about the results of the 2023 Asia Scam Report, where the Philippines was tagged the country with the highest e-shopping scam rate in Asia. We have Scam Watch's founder and co-lead convener, Jocel De Guzman. Hi, Jocel. Welcome.
Hi, good morning. Thank you, Danie, for inviting us. We appreciate it. Hopefully, we can help.
Please do help. Let's kick off with that number, 36%. What does that even mean? 36% of all purchases are scams? That's a surprising number to me. Of every purchase you do, 36% of that is not legit?
Well, what we need to understand about that data is that this is based from a survey conducted by Gogolo, which is a cybersecurity firm which offer an app to block unwanted SMS.
Okay.
So they are based in, I think, in Southeast in Taiwan or Malaysia. So they organized an anti-scam summit last week, and this is one of their presentation, which the CICC carried through its executive secretary, Undersecretary Alexander Ramos. What we need to understand about the landscape in the Philippines is that, well, number one, we are the social media capital of the world.
Right.
We have 80 million plus on Facebook. We have 44 million on TikTok, and we were also the SMS capital of the world. So Filipinos by nature, we are all very active in the internet space. So we are also active in e-wallet. So e-wallet usage right now has reached around 80 million Filipinos, while before the pandemic, there were only less than 20 million. And another factor why this is so high is that everyone knows, particularly in this country, that we are the only Christian country in Southeast Asia, and we celebrate Christmas early. And by celebrating Christmas early, there are a lot of marketing promos and trends. So particularly in the malls, you will actually feel it. And when it's Christmas season, Filipinos actually spend so much, particularly in giving gifts, friends, parties. So money is really going out every season. And because of this, the unintended consequence of everything that I said is that there are also scams. So a lot of online scams. I mean, in the middle of the year, from July, when we started Scam Watch Pilipinas, people are the actual data right now is not really accurate because people are not victims, particularly victims, and other people are not actually reporting. That's why we created this movement to encourage Filipinos to report to the government incidents of scam. So where we are right now when it comes to that data, well, it's really, in a way, it's accurate, but it's really not showing the real picture yet. Because people are just silent when they get scammed. Particularly, a lot of scams right now, particularly in the marketplace. If you go e-shopping, we have two big legitimate e-commerce sites, Shopee and Lazada.
Exactly.
But we also have marketplace, and right now we have TikTok. The two e-commerce sites, they have security measures in place. Although the problem with them is that they are not even verifying if the merchants are legit. But the key here for the consumers is not to go out of those shopping sites if they are buying online using these two major platforms or even the other online shopping apps. So they have security measures kasi most of the time the scammers will in these platforms, the scammers will invite you to go out so that they can give you further discount. As soon as you do that, you are no longer covered by the security blanket of Lazada, Shopee, and others. So yun, that's why we're pushing for an education campaign right now.
Tama.
Existing education campaign is not actually working because based on our experience and our engagement with the ordinary Filipinos in our channels, is that we're still using cybersecurity terminology in educating Filipinos because that's the way how we really describe it. Let's say a lot of them are phishing, a lot of them, even the OTP, most Filipinos don't even know it. And a lot of the education by private companies and even the government are centered on that, educating them what is phishing, which is good. But the real problem here, what we need to understand, is that the pandemic has forced the digitalization of ordinary Filipinos. Before, internet usage was only being used for entertainment purposes, for marites in social media, chismis. But the
Ngayon,
pandemic
purchases
forced
na,
us to have a digital life,
Right.
which we were not ready, and we were not even trained how to be careful online. So the objective of Scam Watch Pilipinas is to educate Filipinos how to be careful online the same way that they are careful in real life. Because if a stranger approach you and ask for money, you won't give a penny or
Right.
you won't give a peso to that person. The Filipinos is actually very accommodating, very friendly when it comes to
Maraming
online.
trust. Yeah.
And that's the one side that we need
Sir,
to
sir, let's dissect all of the things, no. So for our viewers here, iba yung online scamming. This means you are shopping online, particularly in Shopee, Lazada, sabihin na natin, Marketplace, TikTok, Carousel, 'di ba? Transacting one-on-one, and then you buy a product, it comes, it's not the correct product, or it's
you can actually complain that.
Exactly, or it just never arrives, 'di ba? They get your money, it never arrives. This is different from the other scams, investment scams, the scams that you press on the SMS, 'di ba? So basically, this one is medyo kasalanan mo in a way, 'di ba? Kasi you trusted this ano. So let's that. Who are scamming here? Are these just individual sellers, or is there some sort of syndicate, like in the online, in the scam text that needs a certain level of sophistication when it comes to the technology to be able to send these scam SMS? But in these online scams, when you've seen it, are these always the same people scamming the consumers, or are these individual people just trying to make a quick buck?
Well, they're actually both. But of course, the biggest aspect here is the syndicate. Let's say, like in August, we need to understand that the government right now, through the cybercrime investigation and coordinating center, they're also very high-tech already. So creating the interagency agency response center, which has a hotline called 1326. So the objective of the CICC is to basically, this is the forefront of the government against online scam. It's under the ICT. At the same time, it has a dotted line under the office of the president. Its mandate is to basically call on other agencies of the companies, including law enforcement, to prevent cybercrime. Now, coming to what you said, it's both because the government needs people to report so that they can investigate. Like what happened last August, the CICC and the Department of Justice were able to raid a site, a POGO site. It's like a call center in Pasay, wherein they apprehended 600 employees, 400 of them are Filipinos, and 200 of them are Indians and Chinese nationals. And what was recovered there are equipments of scamming, lab scam, investment scam, all types of scam. And they were also were able to recover 25,000 SIM cards pre-registered already. That was the time when SIM card registration was already implemented. And in these SIM cards, each of the SIM card has an average of around 50,000 to 100,000 pesos in the e-wallets. So you do the math. Let's say if that's already 100,000 pesos, multiplied by 25,000, that's already around 2.5 billion pesos.
Crazy.
And that's people's money. There's really a proliferation of online scam right now in all aspects. It's not only online scams, but sometimes what we need to look at as well is that this Christmas, it so happened that a lot of fake promos are happening, a lot of fake online charity scams are happening. There's this massive proliferation of phishing and email and SMS scams, promoting Christmas. You have also fake shipping scam. And a lot of, even us in the Scam Watch Pilipinas, someone pretending from Facebook sent us a tech support scam on even
Right.
facing asking our content to be taken down. But if you click the link, they're already phishing your information to take
Correct.
over
Yeah.
the account.
But
So
how can
it's
we...
just so happened that this season
Marami lang
you have
talaga.
a lot of scammers out there. They are victimizing the consumers actually because
Yeah.
they're taking advantage the lack of cyber hygiene that the Filipino don't have, which we are pushing for, which is the objective of Scam Watch Philippines.
Okay. So on the one hand, no, that one is quite visible, the tech scams, 'di ba? Parang medyo alam na ng mga tao, don't click on this link, don't ano. Syempre people still keep doing it. But what can be done in the online shopping scams? Kasi if I buy a product tapos hindi pala yan yung dumating, all I can do is report, yun lang ba? Meron bang criminal investigation on this? Meron
Well,
bang consequence for the seller, 'di ba? Kasi these are small scale people then, or do we just feel ay nako, wala na, nagastos na yung pera ko?
Yes, this can be considered as petty crimes nga, but
Okay.
the sheer number is also massive. Well, like what I said, you have a lot of marketplace on the internet. And the safest, like what I said, are the legitimate online e-commerce app, the big ones. But
Oo,
if you
na
go
may
to
third
a
party
marketplace,
talaga. Yeah.
this is Lazada, Shopee, and the one with fashion. But if you go to Facebook or TikTok, they don't
Diretsuhan
have
na,
safeguards
yeah.
there because they just go out there. You can actually sell anything without any protection. Unlike if you, let's say, buy in this big e-commerce site, when you bought something and it's wrong, let's say you're buying this big TV and then it came out like this, you can actually complain and the money
Okay.
will be returned to you. That's why if for those who are addicted to e-shopping,
Right.
there's already this receive order, di ba? So as soon as you
Oo.
click that, it means that the goods was delivered in good condition. Now, the key here is that what about those other stuff that are
Yeah.
not in the
Correct.
e-commerce
Yeah.
sites?
What if about yung mga Facebook Marketplace or
The
TikTok or
Facebook
Carousel?
Marketplace, the
Oo. Can I
TikTok,
how can I
and some other
practically
sites.
report the person that scammed me? Meron bang practical way to make sumbong?
Actually, the best way to do there is to report to 1326
Okay.
if they get scammed outside of this e-commerce site. So the hotline there is just dial 1326 and then or go to scamwatchpilipinas.com using your mobile browser and you can actually click one button there to lead you to 1326, or if not, the other button will lead you to the messenger of the cybercrime investigation and coordinating center. All they can do is report, but most of the time we have to really be careful, particularly using the Facebook Marketplace and the TikTok, because a lot of sellers here, though there are many who are legit, a lot of them are really using fake accounts. That's why you
Right.
need to verify. In fact, I think it's best way to do the old school online shopping during the time of eBay, where you meet and exchange money. But
Physically,
of course,
oo nga eh.
given this,
But
given
now
this
with
high-tech,
GCash, with Maya, 'di ba? Wala na eh, diretsuhan na
so it's just pay and then you wait for it to be
ship.
it to be
Yes.
delivered. But there is also no way of verifying the account even if you do the due diligence. Kasi most of the time they will even call you. So they will even call you, they will really talk to you as if they're real. But after you send the payment, they're gone. And
Okay.
it's almost impossible to retrieve your money back even if you report. I mean, the only thing that we can do is that to give the data to the government, and from then they can investigate further and put those accounts on notice, those fake numbers on notice. So that's why a lot of catch here are the too good to be true
Right.
offerings.
Oo.
So like let's say an iPhone for 10,000 pesos. So you have to we have to really too good to be you have to be really be careful. That's why we're pushing for what we call the contra scam attitude. So there are
Okay.
5 contra scam attitudes that we are actually promoting, and we're using Tagalog, Filipino, so that it can actually
Stick.
be absorbed
Oh.
or digest by the ordinary Filipinos. The first one is magdamot. Filipinos by nature are very
Giving.
mapagbigay. So they always
Magdamot.
give out their money. So magdamot when it comes to money. If someone asks you for money, whether it's job offering or down payment for an online shopping item, magdamot. So
Hala.
you have to really
Protect
be careful
yourself.
about it. And also don't give out magdamot then when it comes to your personal information. So
Okay.
that's the first attitude, magdamot.
Okay.
The second one is magduda. Always doubt. Because you have to always take into the premise that not everything that you see in the social media are actually real.
Tama.
So you have to have that attitude magduda. If let's say they're offering you iPhone 15 for 5,000 pesos, you have to already
Paano
doubt
naman?
whether
Oo.
that is true. The third one is mang snub. Okay, so mang deadma.
Mang
So let's say
deadma.
they're offering you need to understand, just go to the legitimate store, and if there are these offers that are too good to be true, you just ignore them. Keep on ignoring them. Buy your stuff in the supermarket, in the malls, or in the legitimate e-commerce site. The fourth one is magsumbong or report. You have to report to 1326 or go to the scamwatchpilipinas.com to report, because what we need to do is that we need to have this culture of reporting. We need to make people report as many online scam incidents as possible to the government hotline, so that the government, the CICC, can actually collect this data and put them in the database. So that, because this will lead, they're doing digital forensics, so that it can lead to the apprehension of these syndicates or even individual scammers. The last one is maghanda. Okay, maghanda means you have to use a strong password. Don't use 12345. Don't use your birthday. You have to really use a strong passwords with alphabetical letters, numbers, and special symbols. And you have to always change your password every now and then, at least once a month. And don't use the same password in all of your apps. Also, never share your mobile number in your social media, because your mobile number is the gateway to your e-wallet
To
account.
everything. Oo
But
nga.
and don't also share your email address. So because the email address is the gateway as well for the digital banking, e-commerce sites,
Tama.
and a lot of accounts that you use in your digital life. So
Okay, but what about,
those are the 5 attitudes.
practically speaking, when you buy something online, at least in the non-third party ones, the non-Lazada, the non-Shopee, if you're doing marketplace, you have to share your name, your address, your phone number just for delivery. What can we do in this case? How can we
Well,
protect ourselves from information?
You have to really look at the marketplace. So let's say, for instance, I ordered specialty food from Facebook because they have
Okay,
this
oo.
Facebook page. Well, the first thing that you need to look at is how long have the page exist.
Okay.
So you have to look at the start date, and then you have to look how many followers they have. You have to also look for the reviews, if they have positive reviews, before you actually engage. Because if let's say if you have Facebook accounts that into business, of course, we also need to support the SMEs and the MSMEs
Tama.
who are online. From
Madami
their,
namang honest
from their
din.
end, they have to also create some identity in terms of some brand identity, so that the person who are buying their items can actually do due diligence.
Right.
They have to post their landlines, if they have a website, and then you have to also look at the post that this Facebook page has posted. So they have to review that. I mean, it's really due diligence.
Right.
So, but when it comes to, let's say, oh, they're just offering it and they're just actually engaging them without actually doing their own investigation or their own checking, then that's a dangerous habit to do. That's why we keep on pushing for those attitudes, because it's really an attitude change.
Do you have use cases of other countries? Kasi we're the highest in Asia, diba? So what are the other countries doing better than us? Is the government more proactive? Are there stronger, rules against person-to-person online selling? Meron bang ganon? What are other countries doing, let's say, better that we can learn from?
Well, the first one is, particularly in Southeast Asia, they don't have a strong digital culture like us. So for us, social media is life.
Right.
And because social media, you have 84 million Filipinos on Facebook, 44 million on Twitter. We elected a lot of government officials using TikTok already and Facebook prior to this administration. So given this culture, it's really totally different to compare with other countries, because let's say, for instance, Grab is based in Singapore, and they don't have this digital mindset in terms of their people.
Talaga?
Although their e-commerce sites are already advanced in terms of security. I mean, the one that we're using are actually from the other countries which have the security measures. Although it's not perfect, we're still trying to talk to them so that we can weed out those fake merchants that are on their platforms, because that's why they have created, let's say in Lazada, they have this last mall, so that these are actually legitimate commercial businesses that have their online presence in this e-commerce site. But there are still a lot of, let's say, businesses or sellers that are not actually legit. So even if let's say your money will come back if you proceeded with their process, sometimes yung abala na you have to
wag
complete.
na lang. Oo.
So especially what if you want to surprise your a loved one or a relative, and you're spending around 10,000, and that's the only money you have. So it will take time to recover that amount. What if that's the only money that you have? So we're also going to talk to them regarding this. But on the other hand, on Facebook, Facebook is really a free market. It's like going to a palengke. So I suggest that always double check the credibility of the Facebook page.
All right. And, the interesting part here of the survey, 21.1% are taking risks despite the uncertainty, despite knowing na baka ma-scam. So like you mentioned, baka nasa kultura din natin, we have to learn to question, magduda, magdamot, mangdedma, magsumbong, at maghanda. So thank you so much for all of those tips. Try not to be scammed, especially when you start shopping for the Christmas season. That was Jocel de Guzman, co-founder and co-lead convener of Scam Watch Pilipinas. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
And that is today's agenda. Sitting in for Sita Beltran, I'm Danie Laurel. We are One News, all sides, all the time.